Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Facing the Music with Terry Oldfield. My name is John Valdivia, producer at ithesound.com. This series, curated from candid conversations, will introduce a return to the mystery and wonder of existence, as well as our necessity to confront ourselves. We shall also feature selected pieces from Terry's extensive musical anthology. In this episode, Terry discusses the complexities of communication and relating to others, particularly when navigating different conceptions of self. Welcome to Facing the Music.
The topic is communication and relating to other on different levels. When you realize that you are the space that contains everything, or the screen upon which the movie is taking place, or however you like to, whichever kind of way you like to describe it, then are setting yourself apart from the general agreement, which is that I'm a separate individual and I'm facing you, I'm facing objects, I'm looking to objects for my gratification, my happiness. I'm constantly on the lookout for bad things to avoid and good things to to amass around me. Whereas awareness, space, the screen, consciousness is the thing that contains everything, and it's also all the stuff that it contains. So there is no separation. And as soon as you see that, you're off the spiritual path. You're no longer in agreement with that there is something to attain. But there is still something to do, because that doing is to adapt this new way of seeing to everyday life and relationships. And to a certain extent, the practical stuff takes care of itself. There is a process which deals with, reaction to stimulus based upon past experience. That's all going on automatically. The essence of this space or awareness is peace, because nothing can touch it. It is the screen upon which the movie happens, the space in which everything takes place or is contained. So actually communicating with people becomes a learned skill again. We have to start again, almost like the toddler. He goes to playgroup and he has to interact with his other toddlers, and he goes up and punches somebody on the shoulder and he gets punched back, and he's learning how to relate. I was talking to somebody the other day, and it all seemed very clear to me what I was saying, and I was talking, having a conversation. And this person came back at me with something which was immediately irrelevant to what I was saying. It was like talking to me on a completely different level, coming from that place of separation. And so I sat back and I thought, okay, well, either I come down a notch and start talking on a more skillful level to keep the communication going, or I just sort of cut the whole thing and just sort of talk about the weather. Because there's no way I can continue on that level, because there's nobody there to hear it until there is. I need to share this because I feel moved to. And so I have to learn how to duck and weave and find my way through the layers of beliefs. And the way that we see things is so different until you see the simplicity of it. It's so simple. It's always been there. It's never been hidden. It's just that the screen becomes masked by problem solving. You know, I've got to develop more awareness. I've got to reach understanding. I've got to get to this area of vibration where I can start to resonate with the universe. All that stuff is what muddies up the screen. You see, the screen is always clear. This screen is so empty and clear. And attachment to objects is what creates the mud on the screen, the inability to see the emptiness. So how can I be of service? And this is the way that I can be of service. And the music also. I still play music, you know, in our events here, and I just pick up the flute and improvise. And it really helps to lay the foundation for the understanding, because it's the understanding that's the windscreen wiper. If we can reach a level of understanding, because the mind needs to be satisfied, it needs to keep asking questions, it needs to ask, who am I, who am I, who am I, all that, until it gets to the point where it's happy to let go and allow things to be the way they are without looking for problems in it, which is what creates the curtain on the screen. See, the screen is always clear until we start to focus on the objects as connected to an object here, because there is no object here. So anyway, what I wanted to talk to you about mainly today was the way of finding a way of communicating with the separate view that doesn't cut off communication, because it tends to do that. If you say something about emptiness containing everything, a conversation about non-doing, for example, could go this way. Oh yeah, I know somebody who's just stopped doing anything. He just lives on a boat. You know, he stopped work, but that's not it. You carry on doing. You don't stop doing because doing carries on by itself. The whole concept of non-doing is the disappearance of the doer, but the doing continues. There's a certain amount of skillful means involved in communication, which could easily, because of the way the mind works, descend into I know and you don't. Or you're threatening my belief systems, so I'm going to get defensive. And that's the end of communication once the defense comes up. So to keep that openness going, there has to be a kind of acceptance of the lack of clarity in other, and a willingness to take that on board to such an extent that you don't go for the jugular.
Thank you for listening to Facing the Music. We want to extend our gratitude for your company today. For enriching context and further insight into our series, do visit ithesound.com/Terry. We have provided all the pertinent information in the description. For those interested in delving deeper into Terry's compelling journey, his biography, Only Now, is readily available on all major online bookstores. It is an intimate and insightful account of a life dedicated to music and spiritual awakening. Lastly, please visit terryoldfield.com to stay up to date with Terry's latest endeavors. Once again, thank you for your time. This is John Valdivia from ithesound.com.